Hello and welcome again to our Street Soccer United podcast with me, Keith Mabbutt, founder and CEO of the Street Soccer Foundation. And on today's show, I'm really thrilled to have a wonderful man in Troy Townsend, Head of Development at Kick It Out and MD of production company Towno10 Productions. Troy, thank you so much indeed for joining us on the show today. We've got a first question. I'm going to go straight back to your youth. You were a product of Millwall and Palace before falling out of the game, but have also managed sides too in the non-league. How did you initially deal with not making it as a pro? What sort of happened next for you at that time, and how did you get through it?
Hi, Keith. Thanks for having me on the show. Really appreciate it, particularly at these difficult times, and a pleasure to talk to your audience. How did I deal with getting released? Straight and honest answer, not very well. I got released twice in a short space of time. So think about all the adulation that I used to get as a player, people saying how good I was and how I was going to make it. Didn't really suffer from anything negative before, but finally getting released once and then twice took me into a dark place, if you want me to be totally honest. Quite a long period of time, 3 or 4 years of just being a little bit rogue, doing things with the wrong people in the wrong places at the wrong times, just because I wanted to feel loved. The game of football, I felt, didn't love me anymore. And I just wanted to be around some friends who unfortunately were not up to much good. But it gave me a sense of belonging and feeling, to be totally honest. Football got me out of it though, because coaching was something that I took up at a young age, and it seemed that a lot of young people, young players were listening to my voice. So whereas it knocked me, it also gave me the platform to develop and to grow as a coach, as I went through my years as a young coach into a very senior coach.
I totally get and respect that answer, Troy. I was at Millwall myself and Charlton as well, and everyone around me said I was going to make it. But when I got an injury during pre-season at Charlton, that basically put paid to my professional ambitions. And I was lucky to have a real solid support network around me with great sort of friends and family. But moving on, you went on to then form the S&T Academy back in 2010 for talented youngsters from deprived areas and those that kind of needed a bit of guidance and mentoring. What gave you that impetus to do that, and how important a role did it play in the lives of young people?
I started S&T Academy with my business partner, Steve Brown. We're in business anyway, providing PE provision to schools across Waltham Forest and surrounding areas. And obviously doing that, we were also developing the sports teams at these schools that we were in, and we came across many talented young player, and obviously the areas we were working in, like I said, the deprived areas, players who probably had one parent families, not a lot of guidance, and football was their kind of outlet of a lot of frustration, to be totally honest, but also where they could show their talent. And one year we decided to put that all together and form a S&T Academy, which was just basically based on coaching to start with. We just wanted to coach these talented youngsters, some of which were coming out of primary school into secondary school, and with no other vision apart from providing that safe space for them to develop. But the players who were from all over the boroughs of Waltham Forest and surrounding areas wanted to form a team. It was a boys and girls team. It wasn't what I envisaged when I started off, because I thought I'd left my coaching days behind, but it definitely reinvigorated me to see these young people really develop and grow, not just as players, but as human beings, as people, and ultimately as a small family as well. And really proud of what we achieved in the 6 years that we were together, and you know, how those young people developed into men and women.
There you have it. Football really is such an amazing tool, isn't it, to engage and inspire. And I love what you did there with Steve to create a real family through football. It's kind of what we try and do with street soccer as well across the country with our academy. Fast forward to 2013, you was then named as one of the FA's 150 grassroots heroes with a visit to Buckingham Palace, where you received the award from Prince William himself. What was that experience like? And what was Prince William like? Do you ever still see him?
Very privileged to receive the reward. You know, many of us, that work in grassroots arena have been doing it for many years, and don't really look for plaudits. We just want to do what's right and, the benefit of the people in our care. But this was an honour, absolute honour. I remember the day like it was yesterday, because ultimately it was the start of a very, very good week for our family, and visiting Buckingham Palace, which I could never have envisaged as a youngster growing up in Hackney and then Waltham Forest, and being presented with this award by Prince William was just those days are unrivaled. You dream of days like that, and then when they come true, they pass by in a blur. But I'm so glad that I still remember it to this very day. And yeah, very, very special times. I felt really privileged and honoured to be obviously recognised in that way anyway. I then had the privilege of meeting him again. There was a dinner a couple of months afterwards, and I was up on stage, and I had the privilege of meeting him again then, which again, like I said, when you're talking in front of, people that have been in this arena and this for such a long time, was just an absolute pleasure. Unfortunately, not much since then. So from 2013, not much. But like I said, the day will always, will stay in my memory, and it's just a great recognition of the work, the tireless work that I've done, and many have done in this industry for a very, very long time.
Is a very humble answer there, Troy, I have to say, but richly deserved, mate. Coming back to your experience, you've worked as a Football League life skills tutor where you've delivered workshops to scholars. Tell us more about that and how the role and opportunity came about for you.
Yeah, so not only the Football League, which is League Football Education, but also the Premier League as well. I run a program called Equality Inspires, which is basically delivering equality and diversity workshops into the academy environment from the ages of 9 to 23, right across the coaching setup, and also parents as well. It came about just through the fact that obviously I'd also got a teaching background as well, like I said, through my PE structure and obviously experience in the game. But I joined Kick It Out as a volunteer to start with no real vision as to what I wanted to do for the organisation. But then ex-England international Will Barrett, who was also at Kick It Out, got his desired job, which was a coaching role, and he was delivering this education before me. And then I took it on and basically have developed it over the last 8 years, really, to the current issues and what's happening in the game, and providing that player understanding, but also listening to the players as well. I don't think young players get listened to a lot in this arena, and so it's hearing their experiences, listening to their experiences, helping coaches through the difficulties of those conversations, and also parents as well. So yeah, the last 7, 8 years have been quite enlightening. I absolutely love the contact time I have with the players and the parents and staff, and obviously something that we'll look to continue throughout next season, post this COVID-19.
Now at Kick It Out, you lead on the Equality Inspires programme in partnership with the Premier League, as well as heading up development, working on Kick It Out's mentoring programme. You first started with Kick It Out, I believe, through the Raise Your Game programme. Tell us more about that and why Kick It Out matters to you so much. And also, if I know it's a lot to sort of take in, but how much progress do you really honestly feel is being made on the racism front in football currently?
Tough question to answer in a short space of time, but the Raise Your Game programme basically is designed for people that want to work in football in different areas and different fields apart from the playing side of it. And what it does is provide mentoring opportunities. So professional people from within the game providing those mentoring opportunities to young people, to give them a kind of boost and a step up on the ladder in the game. And it's a program that has gone from success to success, and I'm so proud to be running it as well. And seeing all the people, a lot of young people come out the other end and now working within the industry as well. Very proud to work for an organisation that stands up for its beliefs and its rights around equality and inclusion. And obviously the biggest topic there is racism and what happens there, but not just racism, homophobia, stuff around fans, disability agenda with level playing field. It's just an absolute privilege to be involved in change, to be totally honest, and that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to work for Kick It Out. Change is happening, and change has happened, but obviously we've had a season, or the season that is still existing, that we've seen so many horrendous things still happening on our football pitches, in our stadiums, around our grassroots pitches, that we cannot rest on our laurels. So there's still a long way to go. But we're at the butt of all the conversations, and I think that's more important, and ultimately we'll be at the butt of change as well.
Alongside your role at Kick It Out, you also run your own production company, Towno10 Productions. Who's involved with this, and what projects are you currently working on with it at the moment?
Towno10 Productions is literally just a small brainchild of mine because I'm in touch with so many good people in the game. And rather than some of the scripted interviews, I want to be able to provide a platform to talk to people just around, some of the positives in the game. You can't ignore the negative stuff, but I have a privilege to be in contact with so many. So I recently sat down with Gianfranco Zola, and asked him about Maradona, because he was at Napoli when Maradona obviously took off there, and he was basically an understudy to Maradona, and what that felt like. Janie Frampton, who does a lot around refereeing and the support of referees, and she spoke to me about VAR and her understanding from an official point of view, and she's disappointed in VAR. So, it was good to get that aspect where sometimes you get shot down, and we're having those conversations, the controversy around those, it just provided me with an opportunity to live a dream, I suppose, being an interviewer, rather than being interviewed, and the access that I have to certain people within the football industry means that I can provide a platform. I've got a very good cameraman, Clinton Ford, who ties it all up and makes it look all sexy, and it's something that hopefully I'll look to progress more and more and more as we come back out of this situation again, like I've mentioned before.
Love that. What an experience that must have been, Troy, sitting down with Gianfranco Zola and talking to him about Maradona. Wow, incredible. But now, finally, to wrap today's Street Soccer United podcast interview, the final question we always ask: what's the best advice you've ever been given, and who by?
Wow, what a way to finish, Keith. I would never, ever disrespect anybody that has given me advice along the way by choosing just one, because one I couldn't choose anyway. I've had so many great people. Once I've turned the corner in my own life, and then started to develop a career, knowing that football was going to be a massive part of that, I've had so many good people provide advice, provide support, provide that opportunity for me to develop, I suppose, from people who probably didn't like me to start with. I remember my old chairman, Cos, at Leighton, who just thought, what is this guy doing at my football club? I'd been brought in by someone else to work with the under-18s, and I think he looked me up and down and just didn't like me, full stop. I wasn't a picture of what he wanted at his football club. But within a period of time of working with his youth squad and releasing a lot of the players that were there, he kind of thought, well, this guy seems to be doing what he put on the tin. And I suppose it's changing people's attitudes about me. That's probably the biggest thing, changing their perception of what a person like me should do in the industry, and letting them buy into the fact that, I can be a sense of good for all. So it's not one piece of advice. It's just more that, just be yourself, be who you are, and don't worry about people's judgments of you.
Absolutely brilliant, Troy, and a superb answer to this last question. Just be yourself, be who you are, and have a real sense of good for all that you do. Love that. There you go. You've listened here to the brilliant man himself. That is Troy Townsend, Head of Development at Kick It Out, and a true pioneer in the game. Be sure to tune in again tomorrow for our next podcast interview.